What's up? I've been trying to record this video for like 3 hours. Today I wanted to talk about the new movie Warfare, distributed by A24, directed by Ray Mendoza and Alex Garland. This movie was incredible. This is one of the best war movies that I've seen in recent memory. I definitely put it up there with Black Hawk Down, even maybe Saving Private Ryan. That's not to say that I think that it's better or as good as Saving Private Ryan, but as far as war movies go, this one's definitely up there. It was a realistic and visceral telling of a war story. And one of the taglines of this movie is that this is a real-time story told from the memories of the people that lived through this experience. Now, I was able to watch this movie early in IMAX, and it was one of the most immersive experiences that I've had. The pacing of the movie is really what made it stand out. It's a very tight 1.5 hours, and being that it's shot in real time, there's really not a break in what's going on screen. You don't have any hard cuts or awkward pauses or lulls in the action. Even the slower scenes where not much is going on. This movie is a masterclass in building tension. There's this feeling of dread, like at any moment stuff's about to go down. Another aspect of this movie where they absolutely nailed it was the sound design. This isn't a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but there's a scene where a fighter jet flies super low through the street as a show of force. And in this IMAX theater, it was like a thunderclap had just gone off right on top of me. The gunfire was some of the best that I've heard since the movie Heat. This cast is absolutely stacked, and every single actor, even those with smaller roles, completely nailed it. I mean, I was totally sold on everything that was going on. Their emotions, their reactions, they were all super believable. And again, I was just glued to the screen and completely immersed in the story. One thing that I feel like a lot of people are concerned about with this movie is that it's just another war movie that kind of glorifies Americans and their part in these wars, where obviously atrocities have been committed by Americans in every war they've been a part of. I think this movie does a really good job of not glorifying what's going on. They don't necessarily pick a side to root for or cheer for. This movie does a really good job of balancing the actions of the protagonists in this movie, as well as the consequences of those actions and how it affects other non-protagonists. Something else about this movie is the use of quiet and silence. Typically in war movies, it's just loud, 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 loud. You see in other films like Saving Private Ryan where there's a lot of quiet moments in between the craziness. And I can totally appreciate these quiet moments as pieces that really add to the overall story. Warfare uses silence and quiet moments in a really effective manner that help build the tension, as well as kind of lull you to sleep before everything kind of goes to chaos. If you're a fan of war movies in general, like Black Hawk Down or Saving Private Ryan, absolutely go check this out. If you're a fan of action movies, I would also recommend this one, although if you have a short attention span like me and cannot appreciate slower moments in movies, then maybe skip it. In my city, there was only one IMAX screening for the movie at all, and it was an early access IMAX screening. We only have like 3 IMAX screens, but none of these other screens are showing any other IMAX showings for the rest of its theater run, I assume. I highly recommend that if you can find this in IMAX, go do that. But overall, check this movie out. I think you guys will really like it. I know I did. I gave it a 4.5 on Letterboxd. If you've watched this movie, I definitely want to hear what you think. I really appreciate if you check this video out. And as always, argue with me in the comments.